What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Car Extra Racing 2 with BrogAutohaus. Today we are going to talk about the Kitsune, which is the Acura NSX in real life and or the Honda NSX, depending on what year it was. If you didn't know, they actually both made them, although Acura is owned by Honda, so it only makes sense. But anyways, we're just going to start off with a few drift clips here. These are my drift clips that I put together of the car, and then later on in the video we jump into the tuning. I also have a few announcements at the end of the video as well regarding the top drift clips and the rewards according to that. So stick around and wait for those announcements. There's going to be some new hats and some other stuff coming in, so I'm looking forward to that. But otherwise, this car is really different. I finally got it as an award in one of the holiday events. I know they had like 4 of them in a row, but it was one, I think it was the second one, and I ended up getting the pass for the event in order to get the car, because I've been looking forward to getting it, but wasn't willing to pay the ridiculous $13 charge that they were requiring of it. So really fun car. It's another one that's a mid-engine car, so it performs a little bit differently than some of the other cars in the game. I believe this is probably the 3rd or 4th, if not the 5th mid-engine vehicle that has been added to the game. So really like that they're adding that variety and giving us some other stuff to play with. And this thing has a body kit on it and it's tuned up. I don't have any engine swaps or anything for it yet, but overall really fun car. It's great for tandems, as you can see on the screen here. Chasing down an S15, was able to get some great proximity. It was good in transition. It's a tier 4 car and it performs pretty much right at the level with all the other tier 4 cars. I thought maybe it would be a tier 5, but it's not. So anyways, without further ado, let's jump into the tuning stuff, and we'll see what you guys think of that. Otherwise, that's it. Alright guys, so let's jump into the tuning and body kits on the Kitsune here, the Acura NSX or Honda NSX, depending on the year and how you look at it. But as you can see here, I do have a body kit on it. I have the D-Master kit. This thing has a ton of body kits. I'll show them to you real quick. The stock kit, obviously, bone stock. Slide Performance, which is a pretty insane looking kit, especially with that F1 style roof spoiler, but cool look. We got the CBW, which is kind of like an OEM plus. I think the fenders get rolled slightly. No, actually they don't. It's just the headlights, the front bumper and that kind of stuff. The street kit is like a Rocket Bunny NSX. So it's got that Rocket Bunny front, rear, and wing and everything. Kind of cool with that rear diffuser. I thought that looked pretty nice. We have the R&T kit, which really boxes it out. Huge rear flares, big canards on the front. Almost looks like a Time Attack car. We have the D-Master, which I have equipped on mine. It's got the hood, front bumper, side skirts. I thought this was kind of a cleaner look. I'm not huge on the boxy rear flares, but out of all the different kits, I certainly enjoyed it the most. And then lastly, the ProFlow kit adds a little side vent there, kind of widens the whole car, and really futuristic looking taillights. This was the other one I really almost got, but I didn't feel like spending 70 gold on it. So anyways, I've got the D-Master kit, which I thought looked pretty cool. And we'll jump in over to the tuning stuff. As always, the tuning is going to be available in the tuning workshop. That'll be under BrogAutohaus, as you can see here at the bottom of the screen. And we will jump into the settings. You can check it out here, or you can go and find the tuning in the workshop like I just mentioned. So we're going to go over to West Coast Arena. I'll show you guys the tune setup, kind of walk through everything and why I changed certain things, and go from there. This setup is for sport tires. You could run a semi-slick as well. You just have to slightly change the gearing, and I can explain that when we get to the transmission. But spring size 8.5, 50 on the front stiffness, 77 on the front sway bar, 0.05 of wheel toe, positive toe, -5 on the camber, and then Caster and Ackerman are 9.5 and 72%. As I've mentioned before, those two are going to be the biggest contributors to kind of changing your drift line. If your car is drifting too front heavy and it's drawing to the inside of the corner too much, try to increase your Ackerman angle. If you lower the Ackerman angle, you're gonna have a ton of front grip, and it'll be really responsive to the steering. 62 degrees full wheel divergence angle, and I did not change the bumps or rebounds because they seemed to be well fit for the car. Now for the rear suspension, again with the bumps and rebounds, I didn't change them. I did put the camber down to a -1, -0.07 on the toe, and you can see the sway bar is at 32, stiffness and spring size are at 60 and 7 centimeters. So on the front, we're running a 19 by 275 with a 25% profile, and just slightly bigger in the rear with a 19 285 with a 25% profile as well. The engine we have maxed out. It's naturally aspirated, so there's no turbo line or anything. It's just RPM at max torque, rev limiter. This thing has 737 horsepower and 650 newton meters of torque. Now, when it comes to the transmission, I changed the differential to a 0.6 overall, and then the gear ratio is at a 4.24. Now, if you change to a semi-slick tire, you're going to need a little more pep in the gear, which means you want your overall gear ratio to be a higher number. So say like a 4.5 would be something I would start at if I switched to a semi-slick tire to tune for that. I didn't mess with the first couple gears, but then when you come down to third, fourth, fifth, and sixth, I brought third up to a 143, fourth up to a 125, fifth to a 114, and sixth gear to 101. Sixth gear, when I got the car, I think was at like a 0.7, and quite frankly, with the amount of power it has, you're never going to get to sixth gear, especially with sport tires on it. And then the gear shifting delay, all the way down to as low as possible. There's really no advantage to having a delay in your gear shifting. The braking momentum's pretty low. I mean, I can increase it a little bit, but this way, if you foot brake, it's not going to just stop the car right away. We got 58% shared to the front axis. And then general, on the front, I just have it widened out for the fitment of the body kit, more or less. So I brought the front out 6.8 centimeters. And the rear, even though it's sitting a little high with the suspension, but it performed the best that way, we have poked out 4 centimeters. The mass and center of mass height are as low as they can go. So let's jump out on the track and show you a little bit of what it can do. If you guys have any questions, certainly leave them in the comments below. I did start a new job last week, so it will be down to about 2 videos a week on the channel. I'm going to shoot for either, Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, and then there'll always be instructional videos, and then on Friday we will have our top drifts, which, as you saw, Josh on Parks took the victory last week, and he will be receiving a free hat in the mail. This is going to be happening every Friday from here on out, so stay tuned. Submit your clips to the email in the description or in the Discord channel. Either or works, and hopefully you'll take home a hat. I'm planning on ordering some more hats, so the design may be slightly different. Josh on might have gotten a 101 BrogAutohaus hat. I obviously have a couple here for myself, but he will be the only one receiving the identical hat to my initial channel, and I'll be ordering some new ones, which I'll also be wearing in the videos, and those will be shipping out as well. So just wanted to give you guys that quick update. Otherwise, thanks for watching as always. Put your life in drive, and we will see you next time.